Hi everybody, my name's Krista Irwin. I'm one of the nurses at the clinic. I've been a nurse there for almost 9 years. It was my first nursing gig. Thank you. I came to nursing really late in life, and thank goodness that the universe opened the doors to this place. Gloria, who was the sonogram technician, was actually my gateway into this world. Day to day, I do pre and post-op abortion care. I'm somewhat involved in the gender affirming care that we provide at the clinic too. And like I said, I'm so grateful that the universe put me in this pathway. I feel satisfied every day. I'm excited to get up to go to work. I love my people. I love my feminist family. I'm so grateful. Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Shanette Williams. Of course, I'm the mother of Amber Nicole Thurman. Before any of this, I was just a mother, a grandmother, a hardworking woman, working to further my professional career and my academic career. Currently working on my PhD, and in a year, but as of August the 19th, 2022, life changed. I had no clue what happened. I was clueless. 2024, when I found out with the world that my daughter was the first death in Georgia that was denied health care, a simple procedure, and the reason why. At that moment, grief became a fight. I am now a very strong advocate for reproductive freedom, and nothing and anyone by any means will stop me until we get change. I can't help my daughter, nor can we help the women that are gone. But I can work to get these laws changed. We can work to help save families, because it's not just the women. There are men that are suffering too behind what is going on today. And that's who I am.
Good evening, I am Taria Tomlin Randall. I am the sister of Candy Siobhan Miller, and like Shanette, in 2022, November 12th, my sister Candy was the second victim of the ban, and my life changed forever. My sister left behind 3 beautiful children who still are here, but without their mother. And before this took place, I was a big sister, a mother, a wife, and I'm still those things. By trade, I am an educator, and I'm still doing that, but my goal now is to be an advocate and fight for change. Again, not just for my sister because she's no longer here, but for the women who have lost their life or who will lose their life if nothing changes. And that is my goal.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Suki. I am an ultrasound technician. I've been an ultrasound technician since 2004. I've worked in multiple hospitals, multiple clinics, but found my sense of community in reproductive health. I currently work at Summit Medical Associates, so I can relate to leaving work and coming on over here. So yeah, I wake up every day loving what I do because I know I make a difference. I make a difference for the ones who travel, for the ones who are able to stay and be seen, and I like to use my voice to amplify my patients every day.
Beautiful introductions. Thank you for joining us. So, just trying to get initial reactions to the film. If I could start with Shanette. What stands out to you the most about the film?
Hearing the protesters say, if you're pregnant, God put that baby there. How idiotic.
Correct.
Because if you're molested, did God put that baby there? Rape, did God put that baby there? Some of the most ignorant communication when it comes to abortion. Why? Abortion is health care. It is health care. And we cannot bring religion into and mix it with hate. There is nowhere in the Bible, and I'm a strong woman of faith, that's why I'm able to do what I do today. And there is nowhere in the Bible that God says one sin is greater than the other. You show me, and I won't have anything else to say. If I tell you a lie and you steal, does God categorize that sin? Absolutely not. So why is it that we highlight abortion, but we make division okay? Why do we highlight abortion and we make hatred, pure hatred, okay? Make it make sense. Why do we highlight abortion and it's okay to burn down the buildings that the people go into? Make it make sense, because you're still a murderer and blood is on your hands. We have to do something. We have to put boots on the ground, because this is absolutely pathetic.
What stood out for me is the hypocrisy. The absolute hypocrisy of it. Because how is it that you can highlight abortion, but we have bigger problems in the world, like guns? The same people that are probably standing out there with those signs talking about God and all of this probably have guns in their home and will not hesitate to use it on the first person that they feel afraid of. So why is it that we are highlighting abortion? The right for me to make a decision about what to do with my body. And the other thing that stood out is I'm grateful for the video or the movie, but it showed just one side of abortion, because there is more to abortion than just going to a clinic. What about those people who have to have an abortion to save their life? Like my sister. And there are so many more women, and something has to change. And this is just the beginning, because it's been 4 years since Roe was overturned, and we are going backwards. And if we don't make change now, we're going to be talking about more than just women losing their rights to their bodies. We're going to talk about women losing their rights to everything, because that's what's next.
To be honest, everything stood out to me because I live it day to day. The only thing that we don't have at our clinic is because we're on private property, we don't have protesters. But I work with folks that come in every single day and give their all to protect and make sure each and every patient is safe. Each and every patient has what they need. If they can't stay at the clinic, I'll reach out to wonderful ARC Southeast, my shameless plug for them, to be able to make sure that they can get to a clinic, to be seen, to have the resources that they need. It made my heart heavy and full to see that this film that is nominated for an Oscar will reach hundreds and thousands of folks to keep abortion on their minds and in their mouths and out of their mouths, and be able to continue to have conversations that need to be had to save women's lives, black women's lives, every single day. They need to be able to go home to their families in a safe way, and the only way that we can do that is keep having these conversations, and this movie will be a movement that has already started but will not stop, because we have no choice but to fight. Now I'm ready to fight dirty because we don't have a choice. So either you're with me or you're not with me, but the only way that we can continue to uplift women's voices is by standing, fighting, advocating, being in these politicians' faces, and continue to get legislation changed that will change my granddaughters' lives, your sisters, your mothers, your friends, your family's lives. We have to keep fighting, even when it gets hard. And trust me, y'all, it is not easy. And my heart was so heavy for everybody in there, because I know those hard, heavy days when we had the ban that overturned and went back. We saw like 72 people in one day, y'all. One day, but we did not complain, because I was able to call back a person that I said, I can't see you today because you're too far. For me to call you and say, baby, come on in. The ban has been lifted right now. Come back in the building. Whatever we have to do to keep y'all in here. So the work does not stop, and it has to keep going with each and everybody in this room.
The next question, which you guys touched on a little bit. How do you guys relate to the folks featured in the film, in the documentary? How do you guys relate to the folks that are featured in the documentary?
We don't have security, but I am the security. It was like when I saw her going in at 6 a.m., I was like, dang, I am the first person at work. I'm putting in the code. If I see a bag that's outside that doesn't look right, I'm calling everybody at work. It's a bag out here. We're not going in the building until somebody come and check to see what has to be. But iron sharpens iron, so we have to be what we need to be to keep everybody safe. So that stuck out to me most. Going through the building, making sure that we have, seeing how many patients we have, praying that I don't have to send so many people away. It is very, very hard to look into someone's eyes that has traveled from Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, whatever, for me to tell them that you can't be seen. When, like she said in there, you cannot positively identify 4 chambers of the heart, y'all, until you are right. It's not. You cannot. So for them to say 6-week heartbeat, I'm like, what heart? It's a flicker. It might be an artery in the uterus. Where are y'all getting this foolishness from? Like, make it make sense. So seeing all of those things, knowing that what we do, and like I said, to care for our patients and just to be able to navigate them to where they need to be, or if I have an ectopic pregnancy, to hold my breath to make sure that I can call a doctor, which I'll call Dr. Hellstorm, and be like, sis, I have an ectopic, I need to send them to Grady. I need to make sure that they're gonna get what they need and not just be pushed in a corner until they rupture, they bleed out. Or I have a patient that comes from Tennessee because they have to come across state lines because they can't be touched until it ruptures. Like, all of this just doesn't make sense, but it has caused anxiety to me because I am the first person that they see in the clinic. So I ultimately give them the choice of telling them that they can stay, or I'm having to hold their hands and console them to tell them, this doesn't have to be the end. Give me a minute. Let me go call somebody in Chicago, or let me go call somebody in a different state to be able to navigate to get you there. This doesn't have to be the end. If this is what you want to do with your body, it is your choice. And there are resources out there that will help get you there. So it was just like a lot for me to be able to see it.
I have literally sheltered myself from social media since 2022. And I thought I was strong enough to just read comments, and that's something I've not done. Just last week, I happened to read a comment where one person said, oh, she went to have an abortion. What she got, she deserved it. And you talk about the emotions as a mother. To hear someone say she got what she deserved, that's why she's not here. It broke me, as if what happened in 22 happened when I read that message. And when I heard the protesters out, just blatantly out telling them, you know, that your bloodshed and just how they were really negative, it made me feel as though how disconnected and how hateful and how non-sympathetic we have the people that we live around. Because you don't know how it feels until it happens to you. And I pray that you can be as strong as I am, because this is a pain that I wouldn't wish on my enemy if I have them. My whole life changed. Every day I cry. And I ask God, why? Why did this have to happen? If I would have only known on August the 19th, absolutely none of y'all would know me, because Amber would still be here. But because she's not, my purpose is to shut the mouths of the naysayers. Because I don't think anybody that is spewing the hateful comments would be able to stand in our shoes. And that's what stood out for me. So I just had to stop and pray for them. And we have to be the bigger persons, because anybody can say anything until it happens to you.
I can't say that I can actually relate to the film. I just know that it would have been great for my sister to be able to go and get the care she needed if this ban wasn't in place. My sister had a lot of medical issues. She had lupus, diabetes, high blood pressure, and this pregnancy would have taken her out. And she did what she thought was best for her in getting the abortion pill. And, you know, she ended up passing away from sepsis. And so when people are putting these laws in place, they're not thinking about the different aspects of abortion, because we really need to just change the name and just call it women's health care, because an abortion is not a one size fit all. It's not a monolith. It's multifaceted. People have abortions for many different reasons. And even if you wanted to have an abortion because that's your form of birth control pill or your form of birth control, then that's your business. So why is it that politicians feel so strongly about women's bodies when they don't even care about whether Americans are being fed or if we can afford to buy food? You want us to have all of these children, but you don't want to help take care of them. And so I just have a problem with just so much of what is going on in the world today. I'm fucking pissed off.
And let's go even further. How can a 34-count convicted felon who's in the Epstein files, who's deflecting as we speak, how can he even say we're gonna protect women whether they like it or not? Make it make sense. It does not make sense.
I would be too. I am too.
Every day.
I'll answer this question then. So, a little bit more background about me. I've been working at this clinic for 10 years. Where I started at this clinic was an OR tech. So I was in the OR with the procedures, with the doctors. Every person you see on this screen, I have worked alongside for the last 10 years. They're the reason why I was motivated to become a nurse. They're the reasons why that I became a women's health, gender-related nurse practitioner. They motivate me every day. I come into this clinic, I hear protesters yell at me. Black Lives Matters though, right? As I'm walking up the stairs every time I go into the clinic. Because they see me, they see my color first. They don't see what I do for the patients every day. I am here at the same time Tracy is here. I walk in, I receive every patient, every chart that I get. I make sure that these patients are safe and are able to receive the care that they need to receive that day. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm just here to provide you care and make sure you're safe. And as much as you see this screen and you see Tracy at the end of the day, you have all nurses as well. Me and Krista are on the phones 24 hours, week to week, receiving calls from patients about complications that arise. And the thing is, they're not spreading the information about abortion because it's so stigmatized. People can call us and ask these questions about what they need to do. We can direct them on where to go. But because the information is so regulated and so concealed, we're not able to get to the patients we need to. So, when you're pissed, I am pissed. Because I'm just like, why are we doing this? And where's all of this coming from? Because I've been working here at this clinic before Roe versus Wade overturned and after. So I've seen patients from 5 weeks to 26 weeks in this clinic. And yet we are here with this ban for no reason, for healthcare, because you want to use a term? Come on now. And that's my piece. Okay.
One of the most common questions I get asked as a nurse is, are you a mother? Statistically, more mothers have abortions than anybody else. Because we know what it takes to fully engage and being a parent. And I'm not sure if this helps, but I try to tell the patients who are having trouble with their decision and having a tearful moment in the recovery room, like, well, we want to be the best parents we can be for the ones we have right here. And they know your heart, and they know, I hope that offers at least a little comfort. But yes, I am a mama. I am a fierce mama bear that cries a lot. And I want them to see the humanity in that. I want them to see that they're loved and cared for from the minute they come the doors until they leave. And like I said, I'm so grateful that the people I work with, they feel that. They feel our connection. They feel that they're held and seen from the minute they set foot and see Tracy until we walk them out the door and tell them, take good care of yourself. It's the last thing I try to say to everybody that I walk to the car.
Next question. film, we see Tracy navigating intense anti-abortion protesters while trying to keep staff and patients at the clinic safe. We know that abortion bans already make it hard for patients to access timely medical care. How do these additional obstacles shape the choices made by patients in need? That is a long one. Let's do it again. Everyone ready? Okay. So in the film, we see Tracy navigating intense anti-abortion protesters while trying to keep staff and patients at the clinic safe. We know that abortion bans already make it hard for patients to access timely medical care. How do these additional obstacles shape the choices made by patients in need?
Well, again, it shapes the lives of those in need. I think specifically of my sister. She was in need, and she wasn't able to get the care that she needed for her life, for the 3 children that she have left. And you know, my sister, she was married. Her husband and her son found her. And so it shapes the lives of everybody. The fabric of our family has been forever changed. And so I want people to know what happens. Amber has a son that's left. Like, what happens to the children? You know, people don't think about that when they're making these decisions. And so it changes who you are. It changes your DNA. It's made me become the advocate that I never thought. Not in a million years would I have ever thought that I would be fighting for women's rights, because it didn't affect me. But now it affects me, and I realize that it affects every woman. Because as a 51-year-old woman, if I become pregnant, what am I going to do?
I think we don't have protesters, like I said, at our clinic, but I have filled in at Feminists for Gloria a time or two. And when I worked at Atlanta Women's, when they were open, we had protesters there. So just to get yelled at walking into the clinic, I'm like, can I have my coffee first, y'all, before y'all start screaming at me? Like, seriously. But to have the patients to come in, and for me to, like I said, I'm the first stop in the clinic to make the decision for them, to see them hold their breath until I'm through doing the ultrasound for me to say, you can stay. And just to see the wheels turning in their head, because they can't even comprehend it or understand what I said, because they were so stressed out and so afraid of being turned away. If I could just bottle up all of those emotions of the 10 minutes of crying because you can stay, and knowing that they took all of the resources that they had to get there, to find a babysitter, to take off of work, or if they're too early and I can't see anything, for them to say, how am I going to take off of work another day to come back, and for them to have to be reassured time and time again that you will not be too far because I don't see anything in their uterus. They're so afraid. I don't think that they really understand the magnitude of what they've done to these women. And like what I saw her do on there, each and every patient that comes into my office, first thing that I tell them is, good morning, my name is Suki, how are you? I'm gonna do your ultrasound. And I let them take a moment, and I let them breathe. And I said, you're in a safe space. This is what I tell each and every one of my patients. And I tell them, I look them in their face and say, I'm proud of you for making the decision and the choice that you wanted to do with your body. You know, because it took a lot for you to come in the door, and for me to tell them, especially black women, we carry everything on our shoulders, y'all. So we shouldn't have to worry about if we can get an abortion or if we cannot get an abortion. That's the last thing we have to worry about when we're trying to be a provider for our children and for ourselves, and to deal with work and stress and everything else. But when I went to DC at the Policy Steering Committee, thanks friend Just for getting me in the building, I was able to look into Hakeem Jeffries and I can't even say Presley's face and all of the rest of them and tell them what they were doing. And that was when Amber and Candy's story came out. And I told them in their face, Amber and Candy could have been my patient. I could have held their hand, I could have cried with them, I could have hugged them, I could have laughed with them, but you took that opportunity away from not myself, but from their families. And at that particular moment, I knew that I had to use my voice to amplify on that hill to let them know what they were doing and to talk about Project 2025, which we knew was gonna be some shit when we read it. But to see how much shit it really was and to see what they continue to do is mind-baffling. But every single day we have to, like I said, uplift their voices and not let their Amber's name go without being mentioned in a room, and Candy's name without being mentioned in a room, and Adriana Smith's name for being mentioned in the room. We have to continue to uplift their names and their voices. That's the only way that policy and things are going to change. And then we have good lobbyists, shout out to the lobbyists over in the back of the room, to be able to get things presented for us to be able to change everything. So, yeah.
I want to know, how did we get here? Now that we're here, what do we do to change it? I don't want to be here. I want to be in the politician's face. I want to not let them forget that because you're lazy, I don't have my daughter. Candy Miller is not here. Adriana Smith is not here, and so many others. What do we do? What results are we going to get? How do we fix this? Those are the questions I have. Now that we're here, how do we fix it? What's the next step? I want action, because I'm tired of looking at my grandchild and not having results. When I go to the cemetery, I can't tell my daughter, we gotta win. I'm still waiting. How do we get results? I'm over the fucking four walls. I need results. I need justice. I need these laws changed.
This is for everyone. So who needs to see this film, and what do you want them to take?
Jason thinks it's about him. I'm just saying. He thinks he's the star.
Let's not mention.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's fucked up, man. You need to bring your brothers and your daddies and your friends, your bros. We're all in this, guys. Come on. Come on.
Yes.
That is so
Play it in the schools.
played everywhere. Overly religious preachers and pastors that you teach against this. Play it everywhere. Everybody needs to see it. Every politician needs to see it. What you're doing. Everybody. Everybody needs to see this.
Take all of us.
Because I'm quite sure a lot of those politicians have been to the clinic with somebody or paid for somebody to go to the clinic.
Same one. We talk about the same politicians that said Amber should still be here while they were running. And then when they got in office, it was a victory to overturn Roe v. Wade. The same politician that is running for governor helped to overturn Roe v. Wade. Stood in my face to say, I'm sorry. Fuck you and you're sorry. And that's exactly what I said. Because my daughter is gone. So you telling me you're sorry It does not mean a damn thing to me. It will never bring Amber back. So how could we allow this person to say, I'm gonna run for governor? What the fuck can you change? You need to start from the bottom. Start from the bottom. You don't deserve to be endorsed to run for governor. You helped overturn Roe v. Wade. You standing behind with a big fucking grin with all 32 showing. And now you want to run for governor? And we're allowing this to be so? Make it make sense.
Every penny you spend should be intentional. Every vote, every person you talk to has to be intentional right now. You got to bring everybody in.
I think the first start was it being nominated for an Oscar. So we will continue to uplift the word abortion, and it will be seen, and it will cause conversations at dinner tables with your girlfriends and with everybody, for you to be able to have a heart to heart, because everyone loves someone that's had an abortion, and everyone knows somebody that's had an abortion. And you should be able to have a conversation just like I'm talking to my girls. Hey girl, how you doing? I helped this person today, and you need me to go with you to get an abortion? Let's go. What you want to do? You need funding? I can help you out. That's how simple it should be. It should be a conversation where I'm sitting in the clinic and we're just having conversations like I'm there to get my pap smear. It should not be anything that's looked like we should not be doing something with ourselves. It's our bodies. You should be able to do what you want to do with your body in any space. I should be able to get birth control if I wanted. I should be able to get my tubes tied and not be married and have to get the paperwork signed off to my husband to be able to get my tubes tied. I should be able to get an affordable IUD if I want an affordable IUD. Or I should just be able to get an abortion just because I don't want to be pregnant. Period.
I relate to everyone. So I am going to wrap up our panel right now. Thank you everyone for coming and participating in the panel.
I know this has been an eye-opener. And for me, as a mother that is advocating, I just need to know who's really with us. I will kick down doors to get change, but who do we have that's really with us that says, I'm gonna roll up my sleeve? Because it did not take them a month when they did the no hands on or hands off protest, whatever it was. When you turned on the television, different states were marching. What's wrong with us?
Right.
And to wrap up, so, as you said, everyone needs to be talking about this. Everyone needs to start talking to other people about this.
Encourage somebody to watch the movie if they have not.
Yes.
I have a movie night and watch the movie with people, because that's the only way it's going to continue to be known about it, is if we keep talking about it and have conversations. Movie night, girls night, come on, don't even tell them what you're watching. Sit down. That's it.
So not only movie nights, it's inviting people to screenings like this. Invite them out into the community. Invite them out to clinics like Feminist who do screenings at the clinic. So you can come and see what we do for the people in the community. So, and then final words, anyone else? Of course, Kristen.
I just appreciate everyone coming out and hearing our stories. You know, what's the word? Preaching to the choir. Like, I feel like everybody here is ready to hear this. Yeah. So go find somebody who's not ready to hear it.
Thank you, everyone. We are open to questions, as well as if you want to contact us or talk to us directly, we are open to that as well.
Thank you.